the meeting is recorded, and the meeting, it's not something formal. It's something that is going to be informal, and hopefully we're going to be having lots and lots of dialogue. Please feel free to put in your name, where you're joining us from, as well as any other information in the chat box. If you have any questions, if you'd like to come up, we encourage that when you want to speak, please turn on your video so we can know who we're talking to. And also you can just signify by raising a hand, and then then you'll be free to talk, so that we're not talking all at the same time. So these are some of our fellows, 2024 fellows, the very active ones. So I would like to congratulate you all. And before we go into, so I'm going to open up for a little bit of conversation. So let's talk about this. Hunger is cheap. The palate is what is expensive. So I'm going to throw this out to any of you, of what do you think this quote means. So please feel free to raise a hand and come up to if you have anything to say about this. So it says hunger is cheap. The palate is what is expensive. So I'll give you like a minute to think about that, and I'll take maybe one or two people that would like to contribute to this. Thank you. Or if you'd like to say something, you can also say that in the chat box, and then, or you would like to come up to say something about it. So it says, hunger is cheap, the palate is what is expensive. So I hope anyone is willing to come up to. So hunger is cheap, the palate is expensive. Okay, so we have Uwanko Ikene. Good. Please, if you can start your video and unmute yourself. So yeah, so we take Uwanko Ikene first, and then we take Femi second. So
okay,
yeah, go ahead, please. Good evening.
Yes. So when I hear hunger is cheap, the palate is what is expensive, it reminds me of it takes me to this other quote that talk is cheap, action is what matters. So to me, it feels like we are talking about, say, it's easy to have ideas, but it boils down to execution. Execution is what matters. So it's easy to have very beautiful ideas, but what really matters is executing it. That's what comes to mind.
Thank you for that wonderful summation. Femi, if you can please unmute yourself and your video, and then please feel free to talk about your own perspective.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, as regards the quote, hunger is cheap, the palate is what is expensive. To my own understanding and regarding this officially green movement, I want to say that the term hunger denotes that everybody, there is no limitation to anyone who cannot get hungry. And then the palate being expensive requires that somebody must really do something, must take an action in order for him to get the palate, which would help to alleviate the hunger.
Okay, thank you, Femi. And then I think we have Aretmas. Would you like to contribute? Okay, so thank you for everyone that has actually contributed their voice to this. So hunger is cheap, the palate is what is expensive. It's quite simple quote, but yet it's very profound. And what this reminds us of is some of the world's greatest challenges. You think about hunger, you think about pollution, you think about climate collapse, climate change, and often not cause there's scarcity, but it's by choice. It's by choices. Hunger is not just the absence of food, it is the presence of inequality. The palate is the ability to choose wisely, to think critically, to demand sustainability, and to act with courage. It is what sometimes costs us efforts, education, empathy, and leadership. And today, and as graduates of the Officially Green Fellowship, you carry with you not just the knowledge, like Femi and and somebody else says, you can have the ideas, but now as graduates, we hope that you're not just about the knowledge, but discernment, the refined palette that allows you to see beyond the surface of the world's problem and to think into the deep truths that can transform them. So how can we solve hunger? How can we solve climate change issues? The world doesn't just need more people to eat. It needs more people who can taste the difference between exploitation and justice, between convenience and conscience, and between survival and sustainability. So I hope today your challenge that you don't just fill your plate, you shape the palette for the future. So it's not just about eating, but about actually growing the food, about actually making the impact, and about actually taking actions to some of the world's most pressing issues. So now we're going to watch a video, very, very short. It's not a short video. Like I said, today is not about, too much of lectures or anything. It's your time. So please feel free, relax, grab a drink, and whatever it is, water, and we just have conversations. So we're going to watch different series of videos, and then we're going to have conversations, and then we'll talk about what is next in the fellowship. All right, so I hope that you stay to the end because, of course, there will be an attendance, and some people have been asking about certificates and stuff. We're going to answer all that question today. So enjoy the video, and please feel free to take notes where necessary.
Yeah, of course I am odd. I'm very proud to be odd. It's what I want to be. But it's odd only in the sense that it's not striving to be like everybody else. If that's odd, then let's all be odd. Let's be unique. Oddity and uniqueness are brothers. Yeah, I'm odd. That's where the poetry comes from. Shall I read this poem? Let me find it. Unique. Clouds spill in from the west, ahead of that promised cold front, driven by a rough, temperamental breeze. Their shapes have never existed before, will never exist again, yet everyone, everywhere, recognizes them for what they are, clouds. This is what unique means. The word has less to do with difference, whatever people may say, than with something we have always known to be true, a qualified, modulated likeness. The whole world as uniquely various as fingerprints, as DNA, as zebra stripes, as clouds. Yeah, uniqueness. There's no such thing as another cloud. And yet, of course there is. Every cloud is different. I love the fact that you can be the same, recognizably the same, and yet entirely different, entirely yourself. That's what real uniqueness is. And every person has it, every animal has it, every plant has it, every cloud has it. What saddens me, though, is that most people don't even see it. There are too many other things in their lives to occupy them. And very often they are things to do with business or with stresses of life, making a living, looking after a family, all of these things, which are important, of course. But if that blinds you to a magic that is every day, all around you, then there's something sad about that. I think we need to remind ourselves that so much is happening, and we are part of that magic. You asked who I am. That is who I am. I am magic. You are magic because we are part of a magic that may not be definable, but is unmistakably there. It's not waving a wand and pulling a rabbit out of a hat. What is magic for me is... It's so hard to say, but it's the feeling that my own heartbeat, my own breathing is as a response to and in parallel with a heartbeat and a breath that is already out there. When you're absorbed in magic and you recognize it as you as well, you're not just looking at it, you're not just seeing it over there, but you're becoming aware that you are part of it and it is part of you. That's true magic. It's special, instinctive, natural magic. That's what real magic is. I grew up in a very urban, harsh, working class area outside Liverpool in the 1950s and 60s. And it was not a very pleasant place to be because although it was surrounded by countryside, it was quickly disappearing under concrete, under roads. And I was aware even then, although I probably couldn't have articulated it, that I had to value this while it was still here. And the things that really did grow to dominate my life were the natural things. But because it was a rough urban area, it was not something that you were encouraged to tell your friends about. You were more supposed to be playing football, swearing a lot, fighting, doing all the things that I didn't do, I wasn't very good at. So I learned very quickly to keep quiet and to internalize it. Because as a young person, I wanted to fit in. Everybody wants to fit in and be like everybody else. Peer pressure is a very powerful thing. Years went by, and eventually I began to realize that what I had dismissed as unimportant was probably the most important thing in my life. I suddenly began to realize that this is what I am. We are part of the natural world. There's a difference between loneliness and aloneness. And sometimes I want to be alone. I long to be alone. Alone away from other human beings. But that is not alone in the sense that there's no life around you. You're going out into your family. You're going out into a soup of life. It's something that almost always, no, let's forget the word almost, always revives me. No question about that. Because there is everything there that inspires me, everything that is breathing along with me. And I feel welcomed when I go out there. Rivers, streams coming down the mountain, fynbos with birds twittering in it, little blue-headed lizards that greet me and wave and do all that. I'm not alone. Of course I'm not alone. It's something that is special. It's special. So let me be alone like that. I'm not lonely. Seasons are important because they're inevitable. They are what life is. If we can admire and be part of and be within the seasons, then it seems to me that the seasons inspire in the sense that they breathe into us what they are and remind us of what we are. But it's the change, it's the variety. All of those things are what reflect us. To know love, you have to know its opposite. To know ecstasy, you have to know despair. And my struggles, compared to the struggles of others, are probably laughably small. But yes, I've known, for example, what it's like to be without, to have no money. I've known bereavement, I've known upset, I've known betrayal. And knowing that those days will pass, recognizing that you can live with them and come out the other side, is an important part of knowing who you are. It's one of the reasons that growing older is helpful, because generally speaking, you have a life behind you, and if it's been a full life or even a semi-full life, you've known some of these down times, so that when the good times come, you know how to accept them, you know how to live with them, you know how to feel in love with them. Without that, what's life for? Autumn is this slowing down toward winter's halt. Leaves shed, days short, a rest and recovery without which there will be no spring, no new growing. Observe, I am this garden, semi-deciduous, a once fresh image rotting to the old cliché. No decay, no compost, no death, no life, no now, no tomorrow, no soon. I'm aware that it's autumn for me, as of course autumn has to come to everyone. But I don't feel that that's necessarily a bad thing. Autumn is the necessary compost for the rest of life. I'm a grandfather now, and I'm aware that what we leave for our grandchildren is absolutely essential to the quality of the life and the length of the life that they will have. So we have a responsibility to make sure that they have an awareness of the possibilities of their life. The most important possibilities are those that say, let's look after this earth that we're on, because it's the only one we have. grateful for being alive, because the chances of it are infinitesimally small. But I'm here, and while I'm here, enjoy it, do your best within it, and recognize the magic of it. Magic, magic, magic. I'm part of magic. What more could I ask for?
Thanks to all of you who helped make this film.
All right, that was a very profound video. And while we're watching the video, I saw a comment from Xavier, Jerome. It says that if you're starving, you will eat literally anything and will even taste good, sometimes amazing. Even mild hunger will make food taste better. And as the man in the video said that that sometimes to know love, you have to experience the opposite. And he also mentioned something about autumn. But before we go into that deep discussion, I would like anyone to come up and do a little bit of reflection on the video. What has the video taught us? What can we learn from the video? How can we apply it to our everyday lives? So it's a moment of reflection for us. So yeah, if you would like to say something, please feel free to come up on your video and unmute your mic. Thank you. And if you're not comfortable talking, you can always put it in the chat box and then we'll have a discussion about it. Yeah, so Titus said that the video says that it is okay to be odd and to be the different ones. Of course, if you're going to start a movement, if you're going to make a change in your community, sometimes you have to be the odd one out. So would anybody would like to come up and share a few reflections on the video? Okay. Is it Albert? Would you like to say something, or that's just okay? Albert says that we're part of the natural world. Okay. Any other reflection? So please feel free to come up, and again, we're trying to make this as interactive as possible. It's this. Yes, go ahead, please, Albert.
Thanks for this opportunity, and thanks for the video. It's very educative. To me, I believe we're part of this natural world. No matter where we are, all our contributions must contribute to the environment, because we can't leave this opportunity for one person. Sometimes we are into our communities and we have things that we can do small and impact everyone. So this video has been very educative to me. I noticed the part of the natural, being part of the natural world, because this is where we exist. This is the communities where we come from. Wherever we are moving, we see the environment. The environment is being damaged by many of our neighbors or people within the community. But without us coming in, like becoming leaders and taking on the opportunity, we leave everyone suffering in the coming future, because we are not saving what is present today. Yes, that's my thing.
Very profound. Yeah, very profound reflection. And you can see in the video towards the end, it had this grandchild in the video, which means that, you know, whatever we do now will definitely affect future generations. And some of the reflections from the chat, someone says, Nicola said, it said being alone does not mean you are lonely. And another person, Efe Gloria, agree with that. Say aloneness is different from loneliness. Another person says that's Lydia, said all of us have a magical power of transforming the world without the influence of external factors. That's peer pressure. Blessing says that the video talks about being differently unique, how it is better to stand out than to blend in, and in standing out, we shine brightest. And then it also talked about seasons. As the Bible says, there's time for everything. It's important to recognize our seasons and put in the work needed for that season. You can't be planting in an adverse season or sowing when the time is to reap. Very profound. Somebody also says the power of our lighting. That's Prabina says the power of the video highlights the power of embracing our uniqueness and remind us that there is the right time for everything. We must align our efforts to each seasons of life. Very, very good. Somebody says that it's a deep reflection of the man's immediate environment and how to keep it safe for others to enjoy. So speaking of seasons, the man mentioned autumn. He says that autumn has come for me, and in time, autumn will come for everyone, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that was a very profound quote, and what I see is that, of course, autumn is not the end, it's a season of maturity. It's a season of letting go and of making room for what's to come next. So it's when the leaves shows their richest color before falling. So you see in the autumn, everything is like reddish, and then after autumn comes fall. So, and it's a reminder that change can be something beautiful, and that shedding is often the start of something, of becoming something. So I hope that we reflect as we celebrate today's graduation, that I want you to remember that every season has its purpose. You may be stepping into spring or summer in your journey, full of energy and possibility. But even when your autumn comes, when things are quiet down, when transformation arrives, don't be afraid. It means that you've lived. It means that you've grown, and it means that you've contributed. Because in the circle of life, autumn is not just about closing. It is the preparation for renewal. And somebody, and Brina says that, I like how he defined the word magic and aligns it with the natural world. In his world, we need value. We need to value the things that matter and not otherwise. So yeah, thank you so much for all the contributions and for all the reflections. And I hope that today, when you go to, whether you're going to sleep or whatever you're going to do tonight, remember that each and every one of us have magic in us, and the world is waiting for us to show that magic. Please, if you have a LinkedIn page, please feel free to put in the chat box and connect with your fellow, with other green fellows. So please feel free to put the link of your LinkedIn page. This is a moment for you to connect, to reflect, and to also collaborate. So we're gonna watch another video again. This is about a moment of reflecting. It's not a moment of teaching, but of just reflecting about life in itself. So watch another video. So please pay attention. Please feel free, and we're going to be asking questions after this. Thank you.
I love this house because it has sheltered me and my family, but it doesn't define me. It's a thing I need at this time, but it's not me. Kameli Zarhoich Kirat Zar Shabbat. It's in Arabic. It's a poem by Rumi. He says, "Earth turns to gold in the hands of the wise." I like that because, like when we built this, we just took whatever that was on the earth. You go into an open field and take rocks that have been lying around for millions of years and just rearrange them, and you have a shelter. And this is what we are able to produce together with my wife and the children as well. And it gives me pride to have something that we've done from our hands as a family. Home is not just the building or this land. Even before I could say I have a physical home, I think I had already created a home. So this is just the idea manifesting itself. At school, I struggled. I couldn't read. So that became a challenge, and I was told that I wasn't, good enough. People create a perception that when you didn't finish school, you are a failure. Once you start believing that you are not good enough, and it becomes a mantra. And when you magnify the negativity internally, the negativity just keeps compounding and growing. So I would have failed if I were to allow perceptions that are coming from outside to bring me down. Nobody owns the thoughts that goes into my mind except me. I own those thoughts. So if I believe what others say about me, it means I have to shut the thoughts that I have about myself down. If I focus more on the positive things inwardly and always make sure that I remember these things, then you can actually move from that space of positive thinking about yourself. Only you can do what is in your mind. I'm not one to quit on myself. Whatever that is it that I could learn, I put a lot of energy in it so that if I say I've failed, but I've tried. Everybody makes mistake. And, it sounds cliche to say that you learn from your mistakes, but it's true. Everybody does make a mistake. And if you dwell on the mistake and not look at the good things that you do, you'd find that you don't even appreciate anything that you have achieved. I always encourage my guys that I know you are scared, but try it. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay. We'll just keep trying until you get it right. The more you do something, the better you become at it, and it becomes easier and easier over time. When you take on a simpler route in life, it's challenging, there's a lot of work, but when you are able to grow your own food, that gives pleasure, you had seed and you put it there and you nurtured it, and here's this produce. You're able to share with your neighbors, you're able to feed the family. Nature always gives in abundance, so we as people need to be natural. We need to mimic what nature does. I'm not a wealthy person in terms of monetary wealth, economics, but I think I'm wealthy because there's so much to offer. I'll share with somebody else that's not part of my family, and whenever they need, we share. Love has to do with sharing. If I say I have love alone, what does it mean? I'm sitting in a dungeon alone and say I love. What does love mean? Love means doing good to and for another person. When we begin to share our stories, our experiences, then we are slowly peeling away on these ideas that separates us and create more pain and suffering. More and more people are beginning to realize that it is not my skin color that defines me. It's the concern I have for the next person. There is a saying that a person is a person by other people. It's an African saying. To see somebody as you see yourself. It's a human experience. I don't like spaces of being on the limelight, so I wouldn't want to have a tombstone. No, I wouldn't create something like that. I would rather have people be more loving, and that would be the mark. When you say, there's this man who used to be like this, I would like to be more like that, and then they would pursue that I feel that would be enough as a benchmark, not a signage on some stone. It's just stone. I'm energy, I'm love. I'm the energy of love, and that's what I will always project out in the world. Love will always live on.
Yeah, that was very profound. So I'm gonna again, I'm going to leave the discussion out. If you'd like to say something, please come up and feel free to unmute yourself, and let's have a discussion already. we have Lydia. So Lydia, please unmute yourself. Please feel free to start your video, and let's talk about the video we just watched and how it reflects on what we're doing presently. Yeah, please go ahead, Lydia.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Adeniki. I hope you are hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you
Yes,
very well.
the video was great and many lessons there, but specifically what I've picked is that it is important to have self-esteem, not to fear, because that fear may affect your expressions, and if you are to express yourself, you can as well get some good responses that will help you to brighten your future. So it's great to have that esteem, to be in position to express yourself. But the fear can as well affect your mindset. It can as well affect your mindset. Thank you, and over to you, Adekini. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have something from the chat. Testimony says that this video really resonated with me. And it sparked some deep thoughts, and I wanted to share with you all. What struck me the most was that the powerful message about self-perception and the ownership of our minds. The speaker experienced at school being told that it wasn't good enough. It's a stark reminder of how external voices can try to define us and limit our potential, but it's realization that nobody owns the thoughts that comes through my mind except me is truly liberating. So sometimes it says it's good to shut down your own thoughts. Our inner voice, our intuition, and our unique perspective is profound, and it allies the danger of allowing external negativity to silence our inner knowing and stifle our potential. This really encourages us to be fiercely protective of our self-belief and to consciously cultivate positive thinking in ourselves. Do we have anyone that wants to come up and say something about the video? Raman Sami, would you like to contribute to the video? Or we have Dr. Booker. Would you like to contribute? Okay, yeah, please feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead, please.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi.
Thank you very much for this great opportunity, and congratulations to us. So I'm very proud to attending in this big ceremony and I have many sentiments for that video, for video who who passes in the forum, the advice for sustainability development, because I am actually to contribute from ecological transition in medical sector, and sustainability development are very important, and I am very very
It's okay.
I
Go
am
ahead.
very cognizant for I'm very cognizant for this, for many course, for many exercise, for many tools, really very tools for to practice, to exercise of our domain, for our evolution, for many population and our community. That is my contribution. Short
Thank you
contribution.
very much. Thank you. Very profound. We have Samuel from State to States. Please feel free to turn your video and unmute yourself.
Okay, good afternoon, ma. Please, I will not be able to turn on my video
That's
because
fine.
I'm currently busy somewhere. Okay,
Go ahead.
one thing I learned about this video is you don't have to bother about what people say about your dream. And I'm going to put it in a practical aspect because I've actually experienced something like that. In fact, during this fellowship, I remember when I wanted to organize my program at two schools in Plateau State. The other school was a school I went to when I was young, while the other one is a private school, and they kind of have this kind of rigid structure. You have to talk to people before they will allow you. So somebody was telling me in my area that better don't go to that school. That principal is very, very tough. He's not going to allow you to do anything. But I didn't listen to what that person said. I said, let me go first. Let me just go first. So I didn't tell the person. So I went to the principal, and lo and behold, it was something else I got. I told the principal my dream, and he was very, very happy about it. I was like, yes, he's been looking for a way to be educated about climate change and all these things. And he welcomed me wholeheartedly. So if I had listened to that, my friend in my area that told me not to go, I wouldn't have achieved that dream. So in essence, don't believe don't listen to what the world will say about your dream. In your mind, you know what you want to do. You know what the positivity that particular dream you want to achieve, you know what it's going to do. So don't just follow what you want to do, and believe me, the world will, the sky will be your limit or your starting point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Samuel, for that wonderful contribution. Just before I take the next person, Omolola says that in the chat, says, put a lot of energy into what you're doing, learn from your mistakes. Nature always gives in abundance, and we need to look at nature. See somebody as you see yourself, and which Danjuma agrees to say that the video encourages us to be our brother's keeper, and that we should let love live. So we have a lot of hands raised. So let me go with people that have not gone before. Ibrahim Aminu, if you'd like to speak, please feel free to unmute yourself, and would like to take your contribution.
Right. Hello, Adike. Good evening.
Good evening.
What I've learned from the video is skills are rather than degrees. The video taught me about self-belief and staying focused in whatever we are doing, because staying focused are powerful tools in overcoming doubt and negativity. Because even without people without formal, or with people without access to formal education, as we have seen from the video, we have he demonstrated that with determination, hard work, and willingness to learn is very possible. So, and the video also reminded me, not to let others, define or undermine my value, especially my skills and my ideas. I must keep on developing my skills, believe in my potentials, and trust that consistent efforts will lead to growth and achievement in whatever I'm doing. So, even without formal education, skills are key determinants in achieving, my goals and objectives. So in short, the video taught me about, skills rather than just degrees. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. That was profound. Then we'll take one more person. We have Azox hand up. Please feel free to unmute yourself.
What I learned from the video is when he mentioned that you can't love if you don't give. It really touched me. Based on this journey, we have learned so much from the beginning to the ending part of the journey today. For we to show, because let me not go direct to what the Bible says, because some persons are not Christians, while but love is an actionable word. When you give, you show love. So from what we have learned from this journey, we can impact in the revolution of climate change, impact in our environment by making sure, enlightening people about pollution. This is an act of love when we do each and every one of these things. So that's my heart from the video. Thank you.
Thank you. Indeed, love is an action word. Sometimes we need to give before expecting to receive. And yeah, we do have a lot of hands up. So lastly, we'll take Ebrima. Ebrima, yes, please unmute yourself and yeah, where's Ebrima? Okay, yeah, please go ahead, Ebrima. Okay, while we're waiting, do we have Emmanuel? Emmanuel, are you ready to? Okay, yeah, we have Ebrima, so please unmute yourself. I think he's having network issues. We have.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, please, yeah, go ahead.
I may not able to switch
It's
on
fine.
my video.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. This video was very inspirational. I mean, the first thing that caught my attention was when he said, "Art turns to gold in the hands of the wise." That statement deeply resonated. I had to write it, and this one I think I have to post it today on my hands. And what I see when I listen to him, I saw humility, I saw simplicity, so perseverance, so that hardworking, resilience. He has talked about. He gave examples of how he struggled at school and bounced back and then kept believing in himself. And I saw self-esteem, and the most important one I saw was never give up. Never give up. That was my takeaway from the video. This was awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you very much. In fact, that quote was what I was looking for from everyone, is that it turns to gold in the hands of the wise. So very, very, very instructive, very something that needs to be reflection, and is a powerful metaphor suggesting that with wisdom, with care, and with understanding, the resources of the earth. So when I say resources, we're talking about soil, water, seeds, knowledge, can be transformed into something of value, something of abundance, something of lasting legacy. So it speaks of stewardship to me. So the idea that the earth itself is not inherently gold, but that it becomes precious through the actions of those who treat it with respect, creativity, and foresight. And if we're going to look at it from a sustainability context, it means that where others see waste, where others see depletion or problems, the wise sees opportunity for regeneration, for innovation, and healing. And it reminds us that true wealth is not what we take from the hurt, but in how we tend to it. It reminds us that true wealth is not sometimes what we have in our bank account, but turning something into gold. And that is what I feel that some of the fellows here have done. They've shown that real goals like not in destruction, but in restoration. A lot of them have gone on to their various communities to sacrifice. They've gone to their communities to make an impact. And I would share very briefly, just give me a second, some of the activities, some of the fellows that have gone on to do amazing things in their various communities. I hope this inspires you. For the month of October, we had Samuel Tubu as the Best Green Fellow of the Month. We had Otoli Yapoto. She got the Green Excellence Awards. These three people, they work so well together. They went to different secondary schools, and they had the Green Best Teamwork. We had Danjuma Samuel that's I think planted or gave out over 1,000 seedlings in his community, and going about in December, especially in the month of December. We had Oloko Ayobami Dele Olua Grace, and lots of other people that have shown commitments during the 2024 fellowship. And these are just pictures from different activities, from churches to mosque to schools to various communities all over the world. Fabian from Cameroon, Neba from Cameroon also as well. Again, Grace from Nigeria. Samuel have mentioned earlier. Eric Kamabu from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Atta Ula from Bangladesh. Felix Ogbuna from Nigeria. And lots of our interns going around the world in places that you would never imagine. Pakistan, Ghana, Rwanda, and lots of them. This is just a bit of the activities. There were thousands of activities from our fellows from all around the world, giving back, turning, heads, turning something that people would say is waste, turning it into gold. Just some few days ago, under the leadership of the Prime Minister of the Officially Green Movement, Latsona Adedeji, there have been a lot of cleanups in their communities. And this is something that we should all be proud of. I'm going to take just one more submission. I think, Emmanuel, you have your hands up before we move on to the next video. Please go ahead.
Okay, this is Emmanuel from Ghana. You can see from my cap green, you can see my cap green. You see, as you said, we shouldn't give up. As an African, we have to build Africa. And whatever that we give to Mother Nature, that's what Mother Nature also give back. For some time now, my wife and I was a teacher by profession. My wife was a nurse by profession, a British trained nurse. We all left, came back to Ghana, did our best. As I'm talking to you now, you can see I'm in my farm. I'm in my farm. You can see bushes, green, everywhere green. You can see green everywhere. You see, and this is what we have to do to Mother Nature. If we don't stand up today and fight to build our own Africa that we want to live in, so that we can inherit the one that we inherited from our forefathers. I can only say that we shouldn't give up, as we said in the video, in that quote, that we shouldn't give up. It is better we stand tall. All the challenges that we've been facing, the climate change. As I'm talking to you, it has been about, we are in the rainy season in Ghana, where it's about a month and 2 weeks now. There's no rain. It hasn't rained. And all the maize that we planted, the soya beans that we planted, all of them are getting spoiled. They are dying, all because of climate change. But do you know one funny thing? Where I planted trees around the land and I did that, my crop farming there, there has been rains. It has been raining there, meaning that when we stand up and fight and do what is right to Mother Nature, Mother Africa, we are all going to get something better out of it. And we shouldn't think that as fellows, as we are here, we should help each other. We shouldn't mind that we are one Africa. It was being partitioned by the white, but we are one. I have friends who are Nigerians who come here to Ghana to come and visit me. Sometimes I come to Nigeria, Kano. You see, we should help each other. We should make sure that we build Africa, because we borrowed Africa from the generation coming. We borrowed it. So we don't have to spoil it. We have to make sure that Africa stands tall. Even when we are dead and gone, our names should be mentioned, that there were these fellows that fought for Africa, that make Africa green again. In Ghana, Galamsey is just like a small scale. They look for minerals underground, they spoil lands, cocoa lands, forest, everything got spoiled. So I love the quote that you have already, that in that video, that we shouldn't give up. Even when we are dying, American has something that they say that you are great not because of who you are, but you are great because of what your country has become. Thank you, fellows.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was very, I can almost feel the passion in your speech. Almost emotional. Yes, we shouldn't give up. Yeah. And we are borrowing the heads from future generations. I think Raman Sami has his hands up. If you can just for a very few seconds, share your contributions. You can unmute yourself. Ramasami, please go ahead.
Hello, could you hear me?
Hi. Yes, very loud and clear.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kupuswamy speaking from India.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. See, really, it's great to see you all people. And the video which has been shown was wonderful and interesting. I was a principal of a college. My wife was also a principal of a college. We lived in an air-conditioned room for a long time, in the office, house, car, everything. But now we left everything because the climate change is worsening, and it is, you see, now it's the temperature here is 44 degrees Celsius, 44 degrees Celsius. It's unbearable to come out. So we have left everything and we came here. We have tried to find out the solution for three important problems in the world. Number one, pure air we couldn't get, and then good water to drink, and then organic food to eat. So we came here and to build this mud house, and being it is it's dark, I couldn't show you everything. We build a mud house, and it's conducive for us to live happily. Even 44 degrees inside the house, it's cool. And then we have built, we are collecting 60,000 liters of rainwater, and we are using throughout the year. And we are cultivating the necessary grains and pulses, vegetables, and we are working hard, and we are producing what we needed. If we will grow extra, we are not selling, we are giving nearby people. And we are living happily the sustainable life. And we are planting as many trees as we can, and we have grown a food forest. And from the food forest, we are getting enough fruits to eat. Every season, no, several fruits comes. I mean, we are getting, and this we are actually we have developed a model for the people to live a sustainable life. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to meet all you people throughout the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ramasamy. Very, again, lots of inspiring stories. Yes, a good way to live. For those that are interested in what he has described, there's the story of the Grey School Bali in Indonesia, in Bali, Indonesia. Something similar to this model. And I know that what you've done can grow into like a community in itself, a green community where everybody's living sustainably, and happy, most importantly, happy. We notice that even in developed societies or industrialized societies, no matter what money, I'll just tell you a very, very, very short story. There was one time, very long time ago, I was interning in New York with the President Clinton Foundation. And when I go into the train, I usually take the train, and there's this man that's always seated with newspaper, very well dressed in nice suits, and the shoe is always shining, very neat. The nails are very groomed. Everything is well groomed, and he sits in the exact same corner. Very handsome young man. You can tell that he's very, very successful, and so every time I go into the train, it's like I almost know where he's going to sit. It's kind of like almost looking forward to it. Like I'm going to sit this person on the train. He's going to sit in the same exact corner. And then there was this day I went to the train. I noticed I wasn't there. It's kind of strange. So maybe he didn't go to work today. I went to the train to go to work again. I noticed he wasn't there for about 3 days or even more. And then later I saw in the news that the man committed suicide because he was depressed. So I was like, how is that even possible? He looks so successful. He looks so handsome. He's very well educated. He works on the Wall Street. What else does he need in life that life hasn't given him? But you're surprised that even with all those things going on, people are still depressed because the happiness sometimes you can't find in things. Sometimes you get happiness from the things that are natural, from the things that you see in your environment, from giving back and just living sometimes in just harmony with nature. And that is where true happiness comes from. So, and these are things that we need to look at as we pursue life, as we want to do all the great things in life. We should also look at, does it make us happy in the grand scheme of things? Also, you might want to look into the story of Jane Goodall. He's a very popular environmentalist. Most people knows in environmental science, environmentalism knows the story of Jane Goodall. Who is a woman that did a PhD in Oxford University without a formal degree. She went into the forest and studied gorillas and stuff and live in harmony with them. And some of his findings are what people are using for the field of etiology. The things that we know about apes these days, she was the one that went and do the research, and we had to build on that foundation. But it took her to say, you know, I'm just going to do research. At that time, a lot of people thought she was crazy. Why would you just go and be living in Gambia or any kind of forest for no reason? But now, you know, most of those work, the cumulative of that work is what they use at Oxford, and they offer a PhD without no degree to study at Oxford. And today, I mean, she's one of the, we talk about environmentalism, she's one of the faces, if not the biggest face of environmentalism. So sometimes some of the things that you're doing doesn't have to make sense to people. It's okay to be the odd one out. The question is, are you happy? Are you helping others? And are you not causing harm? Because sometimes you can be happy. It means that you don't cause harm to other people. So don't say, oh, I'm happy doing bad things now. Are you happy without causing harm to your environment? And are you not hurting the people around you? So lastly, we're going to watch the very last video. Yeah, so we started this since almost like an hour, 20 minutes, and we hope to round up this in another 30 to 40 minutes, so please bear with us. So we're gonna watch the last video. The thing is, all the videos that we're watching today, I've not seen them. I intentionally didn't see them because I wanted us to watch together. I wanted us to interpret together what we'll learn from the video. So all the videos the two videos that you've seen today and the third one, I've never seen them before. This is my first time also watching them. So yeah, enjoy the video. Thank you.
I know that a big part of the reason why you clicked on this video was because that sentence called out to you in the title. And you'll be amazed to know that very insightful and very mesmerizing sentence is 2,000 years old, and it comes from the ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca. In fact, these are his letters, and I recommend that you not only read Seneca, but that you get this University of Chicago Press translation of it, because it's a complete one. I used to read the Penguin version, which is only a selection, which is fine, and it's much cheaper than this one, so if you can only afford that, it's worth getting. But Seneca, throughout his letters, has this style that really calls out to us from the centuries. And of course, that's because human nature has not changed one bit in that time. And this question of his, why do you postpone yourself, calls out to us. Because
sorry, I'm just gonna pause the video. So it's not loud, so you might need to, the volume is not as loud as the other video. But the title of the video is, why do you postpone yourself? So just to give you a context as to what he's talking about, why do you postpone yourself? That's the title of the video. Thank you.
Because we know for a fact that we're guilty of doing this. We all want to become more wise, we want to become smarter, maybe we want to become kinder, maybe we want to spend more time with the people that matter to us, or spend more time on things that really matter to us. And so we think that we can only achieve this through only a roundabout way. That we first have to work very hard, possibly at a job that we don't like that much, or that we like the money of, but not much else of, to then eventually one day get to a point where we can enjoy ourselves, where we can finally be happy, where we can simply have the time to do those things that make us happy. And when I think of this, Henry David Thoreau comes to mind. He sort of had this gripe with the emerging railroad and how it was infiltrating the entire country and really changing life at a rapid pace, because all of a sudden you could go to all these places much quicker and easier. But he talks about how people think that they're going somewhere much quicker and easier by paying the ticket to get on a train, and that they don't consider the time they spent to make the money to buy that ticket. And he says something along the lines, I really travel faster by foot than you on train, because the time that it took you to make that amount of money also factors into the journey. And when you factor that in, really traveling by foot is much quicker. And we do the exact same thing in many other ways when we say, oh, I like to read. But for me to spend a large amount of the day reading, I need to become in a position where I have all that time, meaning I have to make a lot of money so that I can then relax and have my time to read. So what we do is we put the first thing last. And we can observe this in our days as well. Make a list of your principles, make a list of your goals, and then look at the flow of your day. What is the first thing on your list of principles, and what's the first thing that you do in your list of activities on the day? I can guarantee you that the first thing on your list of principles is not the first thing that you do first thing in the day. What you do is, most likely, at least at some point in your life, you sleep in as much as you can. And then when you finally do wake up, the first thing that you do is grab your phone and do the exact last thing that you want to be doing, which is looking at other people's lives, comparing yourself to them, and feeling all kinds of negative emotions. And that's how you start your day. And then what else? The next thing you do is get ready for a job that's only a means to an end. The end being your happiness, and the job supposedly being the means that will get you that. And so at the end of the day, when you come home from work, you went to work, but really the work of life, you haven't put in a single minute. On your list of principles, which are your goals in life, which are what you want to be, who you want to be, who you want to become, and what kind of life you lead, that's the work of life. And in that work, you haven't done anything yet. But naturally, you're exhausted. It's the end of the day. You're tired. You want to eat and you want to go to sleep. Or maybe you want to relax for a few hours and then go to sleep. And so the very first things on your list of principles, on your list of goals, came last, if even at all. And most days we just end not having done a single thing for ourselves, not having done a single thing for the work of life. And that's exactly what Seneca points out in his letter to his friend. He says, you postpone yourself because you want to avoid financial insecurity, and that's why you dedicate your life to start a business and get it up and running so that it can provide for you in your passive time without being active. And so you postpone yourself. You delay life. You say you will start living someday at some point when these earthly profane goals of yours, such as money, wealth, etc., have been fulfilled. And until then, you delay your happiness, you delay your life. And I already know that some people are thinking right now, well, we need money, we need a living. We need to make money to do anything And if it gets in the way, if I need money, and if I don't have it, then well, I need to go and make it, and everything else comes after that, no matter how much I would like them to come first. And while that's partially true, and no one's here telling you to abstain from money entirely, and more so think about the fact that, yes, most of us need to have a car, and cars cost money, but almost no one needs the kind of car that they right now have. I mean, if you think about it, car payments are, I believe for most Americans, car payments are the second biggest expense they have each month, after perhaps a mortgage, and some people don't even have that. So some people, their biggest expense is their car payment. And do they really need that kind of car? No matter what it is, no matter how much utility it gives them, it's certainly several levels above in comfort and luxury and performance than they would ever need. But they want it. And Seneca also says, hunger is cheap. The palate is what's expensive. And that's exactly what we find here. If we would forego such luxuries, and if we forewent other things that we simply want, that we dreamed ourselves of having when we were a child, when we imagined our adult life, we don't need the kind of car that we imagined then. We don't need the kind of house and the kind of partner and the kind of so-called social circle that we desired and admired back then. But most people still cling to those fantasies. And they try in their adult life to live up to a child's fantasy. And in theory, we know that this is ridiculous, but we all have done this in our daily lives. We have put what should come first last for many years. So make yourself a true list of your priority, and make what comes first on that list come first in your day too, and in your life in general. If you want to spend more time with your friends that are really good for you, actually good for you, that further your mind, that you have conversations with, that make you into a fuller, bigger person, then you don't need to work to buy your time to do that. You need to just want less, and buy less, and desire less. And the less you desire, the more money you will have without making more money, without having to go and spend your life, spend your time making more money to fulfill those extra, mostly luxury, additional desires, wants. And it's down to you to deny yourself those things that are not necessary, not needed by you in any way, but just desired, to identify them, to see them, and to get rid of them. Seneca also says, throw everything away, whatever keeps you from what you really want. Untie the knot or cut it off altogether.
That was a very, the audio was quite hard to understand. At this point, if you would like to make some reflection on the video, please feel free to unmute yourself and or raise your hand, and then so what are some of the reflections for the video? So Otusan Otoba says that, why did you postpone yourself? Procrastination is harmful to one's progress in life. And then we have Eunice and Rates. Please feel free to make your contributions. Eunice, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. And congratulations to everyone. Okay, for me, what stood out from this video and what I've been reflecting about overall, it's using our senses in everything. And as we grow up as adults, we tend to forget. but I observed naturally. That is how you're meant to see things. So like the other said, most of the things that we want to do, we don't do those. We do what, like we sleep a lot. And so that means if you don't use your senses, apply them, you'll, at the end of the day, you'll not be able to have much in your life. So the same thing with the environment. Our nature is aligns with everything, but I think humans, we do the opposite. So it's able to support us and to get the fresh air, live in harmony in everything. Yes, that's my contribution. Thank you.